like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, I need it now, told him on the lay. I've been moving, dog, yeah, I'm on the way. I don't hear the talk, don't care what they say. I don't got no patience, I can't ever wait. I've been trying to get it, running up all these digits. And I've been in the gym, I've been up doing minutes. I just put in that work, told them it's strictly business. And I see through the face, they all just burning bridges. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, they don't want it, dog, like I want it, dog. Yeah, they say they want it, then they took the summer off. I've been going down the list, checking numbers off. I was checking on your numbers, told them something's off. I was at the bottom, now you know I'm climbing. Now they sending deals, they know I ain't signing. They been trying to sell it, they know I ain't buying. When they send a text, dog, I ain't replying. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell.
I ain't tryna see your hand out. No freebies, better pay out. Y'all so cheap, man, we stay out. Feel like a breeze, don't play around. Y'all better pay for the CD. Y'all better pay to come see me. They left the whole crowd sleeping, and that's why you really gon' need me. Y'all better pay for the CD. Y'all better pay to come see me. They left the whole crowd sleeping, and that's why you really gon' need me.
Yeah, I've been on the road chill. 31, baby, living out my dream still. I just got off a tour, the product in store. I'm playing, I'll be rocking with the guy in the horse. Yeah, you just hopped in the coupe, got lock in the shoes. I worship at Zeus, you not gonna shoot. I'm watching you do the camp base where I'm blocking these fools. I got studio time, I got my watch in the booth. Yeah, they be praying on my downfall. I'm an outlaw, switching pulls every stanza like Southpaw. How come your mouth off when y'all soft? No, you see me on the trampoline, about to bounce off. Yeah, it's a matter of time. I know you see me standing in the front, back of the line. I happen to grind every minute, passing the time. We ain't never been friends. How you acting like mine? Y'all need contentment. Y'all got resentment. God's grace lead to repentance. You live for mentions that make me question how you gonna handle a gift if you don't know how to steward blessing. You can't do it. You don't want a dream chase. You don't put your hands to it. You know the circle shrunk. 4th and 40 got a punt. No, I don't do what I want. I do it for the kingdom come. I ain't know that I was flowing. I ain't showing sign of slowing. I am going for the juggler, mate. The one to debate. But you seem to want it for free. I ain't doing video unless I'm gonna get paid. Yeah, I've been working on a gift. I ain't doing free shows. You can call me here again. You can call me what you want. It's really absurd. Just because you're the church doesn't really mean you don't have to pay me what I am worth.
I ain't tryna see your hand out. No freebies, better pay out. Y'all so cheap, man, we stay out. Feel like a breeze, don't play around. Y'all better pay for the CD. Y'all better pay to come see me. They left the whole crowd sleeping, and that's why you really gon' need me. Y'all better pay for the CD. Y'all better pay to come see me. They left the whole crowd sleeping, and that's why you really gon' need me. Y'all better pay for the CD. Y'all better pay to come see me. They left the whole crowd sleepy, and that's when you really gon' need me.
Look what's next for me, Joe. second bell, where the f is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I come up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in mine, yeah.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. What is going on, Mafia? Bitcoin is going to zero. Oh my God, the bull market is over, guys. Sell all your crypto. It's all a scam, and it's going to zero. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. We're going to be taking a look at the charts today. We got another amazing show for you guys tonight. And there's the drop to the downside, guys. Just barely front-running that 51 to 52K level. Are we likely to see more downside here? To be quite honest with you guys, the higher time frames are still looking bearish, and we are starting to see some signs of weakness, some serious signs of weakness here as we have broken down below our past wick low at about, let me get the exact level here for you guys, at about 56,500, at least on the Bitstamp chart. That was our line in the sand, guys. We have so much to look at today. not only talking about how we were able to see this move coming before it actually happened, but we're also going to take a look at some potential lower levels for Bitcoin that I know not a lot of people want to hear, but we have to keep our eyes open for lower prices as things could be flipping a little bit more bearish here. And some of those levels we have looked at before, but we're just bringing you the information on the charts, guys. Let's go. So yeah, we're going to be talking about the bearish case, guys. How bad can this get if we see this continued downside? And then we'll also obviously take a look at the bullish case, as we don't know what's going to happen as traders. We have to list those bullish kind of puzzle pieces, list the bearish pieces of evidence, and then weigh our decisions and give ourselves the more statistically probable situation, and then make our trading decisions based off of actual information. So don't forget to smash that like button, guys. Every 100 likes we get gives you some free chances to win some free crypto. And if we get 550 likes on tonight's live stream, guys, I'll give away 3 of these new Frankie Candles hats, which is like, these are like a new colorway. It's like a navy blue with the Carhartt. That's embarrassing. Hang on one second, guys. You got the navy blue with the Carhartt orange on the back, or the Carhartt brown. Pretty fire. I'll give away 3 of these, plus our typical crypto giveaways. If we get 550 likes on tonight's live stream, we will give away that crypto, or call the winners tonight. So before we jump into it, guys, let's go ahead and say what's up to the Mafia. Put a hashtag value in the chat if you guys had an idea that this drop was going to be possible based off of some things that we were looking at on this live stream. Go ahead and drop a hashtag value in the chat. But let's shout out to CandleMafia real quick before we jump on into the show here, guys. Shout out to K Diggity. Shout out to Curtis Neal. Let's see. We got Alex Terminate, what is going on, bro? We got You Grow, I Grow. What is going on, bro? Good to see you. We got Rob the Crypto Snob, Captain Kirk, CandleMafia Mama, Bing Bong. What is up, Cap? Thank you for tuning in. Hashtag values in the chat. I see you guys. We got Servando Estrada in the chat. What is going on? K Diggity, who will be babysitting my goats anytime I leave town. Shout out to K Diggity. He's a certified goat watcher. We got Crypto Pollo. Speaking of farm animals, shout out to Crypto Pollo. Hope you're doing well, brother. But guys, show the mod some love in the chat. Let's see who else we got in here. Evan. Shout out to Evan. What is going on, brother? We got Wayne C, J Violet, ZC Productions. I'm running out of breath here. Vacation time. Shout out to you, brother. I'm gonna go ahead and pin your comment as always. Guys, don't let this distract you from the fact. Read Vacation Time's chat there. If you're a Fast and the Furious fan, you will know what that joke is about. I can't figure out how to pin that chat. But let's see. Let's call out a couple of other people in here. Let's see. Shout out to Dan Ludwig. What is going on, bro? Thank you for tuning in. He said we got one last short before 0. Shout out to you, brother. Hopefully we don't get down to 0. But shout out to you, man. We got Mike Vito, my paisan, in the chat. We got Greg. Shout out to you. Greg, we may be taking a look at Bonk today. Shout out to BG. And last, but certainly not least, guys, shout out to Darren Does Things and Curtis Neal, who we already shouted out. But with all that being said, guys, we got a lot to look at here on the charts. I'm going to spend a bit of time on Bitcoin today because obviously we've seen a pretty big move down and there's a lot of stuff to look at. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Here we go. Maybe that's like the new intro, guys. I usually say, let's go ahead and jump into the charts. But we should say, here we go, right? Because here we go. No. Okay, anyway, let's go ahead and continue on here, guys. So here we are. With the drop to the downside. Now, guys, what I do want to talk about first is how we wound up in this situation and why it was not that big of a shock to see this drop to the downside. And it has to do with a lot of the things that we were looking at on this live stream over the past couple of weeks. And number one, as you guys know, one of those big warning signs or those big warning shots that Market Cypher was firing obviously was coming in here on the 2-day time frame with our money flow crossing over into the red. Now, this indicates that the longer term trend was likely to continue to the downside, and that is why, we were looking at some of these lower support levels getting closer to about, between $53,000 and $51,000. Really, 51 to 52 is kind of what I was looking at. But we had this other support level down here, which seemed kind of crazy to be talking about. But here we are, just following the information on the charts. And although it sounded crazy and nobody really wanted to see that drop down, the charts guided us in that right direction with the money flow. Money flow never lies. Somebody get Crypto Face. Shout out to Crypto Face. Money flow is absolutely goated, and this was a big reason why we were expecting that continuation to the downside, and also one of the reasons that we were looking for our short position that we were looking at in the premium Discord on the retest right here at about 63,400. I'll pull up a different chart in a second with the actual levels, but based off of the money flow on the higher time frames, guys, we were anticipating any bounces to the upside after our drop here back in June, or Monday, I guess the 24th was when that actual drop happened. We were anticipating a bounce to the upside, but we talked about it on the live stream a bunch of times, we knew that pump to the upside would very likely be a lackluster pump into some very key levels given here on the show to put in a lower high and do what? Continue our move to the downside, breaking that structure or the current lows to put in a lower low. Now, this is how we understood that it was likely that we were going to get this move, or at least somewhat. Hey, shout out to Querty. Let's go. Dropping those Frankie Candles memberships in the chat. Shout out to Querty. Thank you so much for doing that. Shout out to Nizam. Shout out to Kenny. Shout out to Vacation Time. Shout out to the bird next door. And shout out to You Grow, I Grow. Welcome to the Green Name Club. Let's go. Shout out to Querty, bro. I appreciate you so much for doing that. Guys, this is some of the things that we were looking at to anticipate that lower high, right? Now, where were we looking for that lower high to come in at? Well, very simply put, let me go ahead and pull up the actual Bybit chart here. Where were we looking at on the live stream to put that lower high in? Very simply put, we had our rejection zone sitting right here between 63,122 and 64,748, where we not only had the value area low of the previous range, but also this local golden pocket retracement. And if we are in a confirmed, or what we think is going to turn into a continued downtrend, where is that lower high likely to come in at? It is likely to come in at that golden pocket 786 Fibonacci retracement level. So that is literally where we wound up nuking from here. And shout out to the premium Discord. Unfortunately, guys, I am no longer holding my shorts. I was in a short, not on Bitcoin, but on Ethereum, basically from the very similar point up here. But we did have that premium set up in the Discord for that short from the high here, as well as another short for anyone who might have missed out on this bearish retest of the value area low. I did take both of those trades. Again, this one was on ETH for me, but I did take this one on Bitcoin, but I did close it in full. However, this is kind of where we came from, right? We have to understand where we came from to figure out where we're going. So, actually, bear with me one sec, guys. I'm going to pull up my face cam here. I don't know what is, sometimes when I have too much stuff open here, it will, my screen flickers. I actually don't even think it translates through to YouTube, but it is extremely distracting for me. But you know, that's kind of how we figured out that we were likely to get that drop to the downside, because the 2-day money flow indicated the trend would likely continue down, breaking that structure to lower prices. And here we are getting pretty close to that $52,000 to $51,000 level we were looking at. And I will say, guys, this is looking more and more bearish in my opinion, right? That 2-day money flow is continuing out. On top of that, obviously, we do have the macro break of structure here. If we pull up the monthly time frame real quick, or not the monthly, I'm gonna pull up the weekly real quick and take a look at this, right? And I also today want to talk about some macro levels, guys, some seriously important support levels. And I don't want to scare anybody, especially not the CandleMafia, but I do want to talk about some lower prices today in case we do see this continued move to the downside, because there are things that are calling for this. And as I always say, right, when we're looking at lower levels, you know, this is not a favorite thing for YouTube, right? People don't want to hear prices going down, but as I always say, I will never come up here and tell you guys the price is going to go up if I do not think that is the case. And I generally don't usually say price is definitely going up or going down, because that's not how the market works. It's always an if this, then that scenario. There's a bullish case, a bearish case, and then we make our decisions based off the area or the side, the bears or the bulls. Whoever has the more confluence, that's kind of what we bet on. However, there are some serious macro levels that we're approaching right now, and I will say the fact that we bounced off the level we just hit is somewhat decent, but not for a big reversal. And we're going to talk about that. Generally, guys, as long as this higher time frame money flow, my sentiment in the long term, or I should say, remains exactly the same. As long as this money flow is continuing out, we are going to be anticipating this trend to continue to the downside, right? Until we see this money flow flip back up and some seriously important levels flip to support, I am going to be looking a bit lower here. Now, it doesn't mean we can't bounce, just like down here. I want you guys to try to remember the feeling after getting a drop. You see that bounce, and everyone's like, oh my God, that was the bottom. We're definitely going back up. But we know that because of that money flow, it's more likely to put that lower high in. But this bounce here feels extremely bullish, right? It feels like, oh my God, God, that was a strong bounce. The bottom's in. And, everybody on the internet is calling for that. Or not everybody, but a lot of people get really excited and emotional about these bounces. But we're not using our emotions, and in my opinion, based off the analysis, which is what we stuck to anticipate this last drop, we're going to stick to that, right? Even if it's not the crowd favorite, or, even if it kind of seems crazy that we're in a bull market and we can continue down. Remember, 30% dumps, even a little bit more is not uncommon in a bull market, so just remember that. But really, really quickly here, I do want to talk about a few things. Now, if we come on over to the weekly time frame, I'm going to pull up Lux Algo, shout out to one of our channel sponsors, and also an amazing premium indicator. They also have 160 free indicators, including mine, Frankie Candles Essentials. You guys could check that out on TradingView. However, what I want to take a look at here is if we come on over to the Bitstamp chart, we're actually not printing it right now because we are potentially going to hold this level as support. Right now, guys, this is an extremely key level. What we want to do here is we want to close a daily and preferably a weekly candle above this wick at about 56,500. So even if we close some daily candles, not the most bullish scenario, but if we close a weekly up there, it would be somewhat of a good sign because remember, typically on these other moves to the upside that we have seen, it is kind of sideways consolidation, dip below the low, put another leg up to the upside, right? You have another area of consolidation. You wick out the lows, wreck all the longs, your next leg to the upside. And then I won't do it right now because we've talked about this a lot recently. But even on the 51 to 52K zone here, it was the same thing, right? You have the consolidation, and then you had a little wick of the lows before the next leg to the upside. Could we potentially be seeing the same thing? As of right now, I'm definitely leaning a bit more bearish, so I'm not necessarily calling for that. However, it would be somewhat of a good sign to get an SFP of this wick low, especially if we close that weekly candle above. This is kind of important. Doesn't guarantee upside, but I would like to see that and then see the money flow curve back to the upside for a potential move up. But again, my bias is definitely still bearish right now. So if we pull up Lux Algo real quick here, get rid of the levels here real quick. Now, obviously, this isn't showing because the candle right now is, grab our trend line. Obviously, the candle is kind of just playing with this level. But if this daily candle or weekly candle, let's pull up the daily, it's probably printed here. No, not yet, right? But if we do wind up closing this candle down below, especially on the weekly, guys, we will have a bearish change of character on the weekly time frame, which is generally not a bullish sign, right? This is definitely more bearish than bullish, and we really don't want to close below this level. I do think it is somewhat probable to get that, but remember, guys, in the long term, this is not like the end of the bull market, very likely, right? This is more likely, in my opinion, unless we get some kind of a black swan, we may just come down and test these lower levels. But, if you're looking at things like the Fourier cycle and stuff like that, this is not generally where the top comes in, right? We would have some more room to the upside. Otherwise, this would be the absolute most depressing Bitcoin bull market ever, only breaking the all-time high by about 7%. Just understand that, right? Like, I'm not calling for zero or anything like that. But again, more downside is not unlikely in my opinion based off the money flow. And I will say, like, even more recently in the live chat or even in the comments, like, people, as we were looking down into the mid to low 50s, people were like, this guy's an idiot. Like, why are you looking lower, dude? It's a bull market, up only. But here we are, right? And it's not because, I'm the best or I'm a genius, I'm the best trader ever. It just simply has to do with the TA, right? The market structure, the money flow, etc. All the things that we talk about on this live stream every single time. And yet again, the numbers didn't lie, or the information, the signals did not lie, right? So keep that in mind. But if we do wind up breaking down here, guys, this would be more bearish in the macro for me. And again, not calling for zero, but potentially coming down to visit some much lower levels, potentially getting between that 51 to 52K level. And yes, I'm going to say it, potentially even into the 40s. And I want to cover that right now. So let's come back over to the daily time frame here, pull off the indicators real quick, and let's talk about these lower levels of support. Now, obviously, we do have the, let's pull back up our Bybit chart here, and we do have this local zone here between $51,000 to $52,000, and we almost hit that level. Now, it doesn't guarantee just because we front ran it that we are not going to continue down. Remember that. Some people like to say where it wicks, it sticks, and there is something to that in my opinion. But, oh, hey, shout out to Jason Casper with the super chat. What is going on, bro? Thank you for tuning in. He said, what do you think about the 2-month? Also, you are a genius and the best trader ever. Hey, that means a lot coming from you, Jason. Shout out to Jason Casper, bro. I appreciate you so much for being here, man. The 2-month. Let's go ahead and I'll check out the 2-month in just a second. But yeah, guys, if we do drop down to that 51 to 50K zone, this is somewhat of a confluent area. However, in my opinion, not as strong as this zone down here. So again, I'm not calling for a guaranteed dump down to this level, but anyone who's looking at the chart, actually, shout out to Jason Casper. Bro, let me know what you're thinking. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? You think this is like a liquidation watch before a big move up? Or are you leaning a little bit more bearish off that money flow, like the 2-day? Not looking great. Let me know what you think, bro. I appreciate you for being in here, man. I really appreciate you. But if we do come down here, guys, we have this naked value area between 51 and 52K. And on top of this, we also have a monthly naked point of, if we pull up exo charts here, you can see there is a monthly naked point of control sitting here at about $51,800, which is some really nice confluence here because those monthly naked points of control are typically pretty strong levels, right? It's basically the naked point of control of this value area. However, I will just label this as naked monthly. Bada boom, right? So you do have a pretty confluent zone here. If we do wind up continuing down, I will be looking for longs down here. That's why this is a blue area. So that's kind of what I will be looking at as our next stop to the downside. Again, looking at this a couple days ago, I was getting roasted, but here we are getting very close. So if we lose that level, I am going to be looking down to this zone, guys, because the next really confluent level that we have is this other naked value area down here, as well as we do have, I believe, a golden pocket up here as well. This is what this blue box is from. And this first zone starts at about, I would actually call it about $47,000. I'm not going to go over all the exact levels that we have there because it would take too long for me to kind of explain everything. But between about 47 down to this value area high at $44,000 would be one zone of support. And then once you start breaking down below that $44,300 area, that is where we can use this volume profile to try to predict, hey, like maybe we get a bounce here, another lower high, something like that, or maybe we even come back up a lot more. But if we wind up breaking that 51 to 52K zone and we come down below this value area, this then opens up the door to potentially visit this value area low. Yes, coming in at $41,000. Now, I am not saying Bitcoin to 41K. This is a very, very important distinction to make. I am not saying short Bitcoin to 41K. It is an if this, then that statement. If the dump continues and we break 51 to 52K and we break below this value area high, this is what we will be looking at for context. So, but this is a very, very confluent zone. And in my opinion, with this bigger area of consolidation, does have a little bit more structural support. And there are a few other levels in there, such as Fibonacci levels, naked points of control, naked points of controls, etc. So definitely a big area to be looking at. And should we talk about the lower levels? I don't want to get like I don't want to start talking about super low levels. But there's even some lower levels down there, guys. But again, let's break 51 to 52K before we cross that bridge. Maybe we never even see 41, right? It's not about trying to predict the exact number we're going to. It's about trying to predict the trend like we have up here and use the volume profiles for context to get those shorts from the highs and those longs from the lows. But shout out to Jason Casper. Let's go ahead and see if we can shout out to Jason, said he's eating a brownie, which he never does, which doesn't surprise me. If you guys have ever seen Jason Casper, doesn't look like he eats many brownies. If you know, you know. But let's go ahead and check out that 2-month. Let's see. Bada boom. Let's pull up Market Cipher. Let's take a look here. Let me pull up the Bitstamp chart. More price history. Oh, boy. Well, oh, shout out to Jason Casper. I thought we were going to... Shout out to Jason, bro. Gonna have to tell you guys more bad news here. VWAP on the way to the downside on that 2-month, guys. Looking for the red dot. We have the divergence too, I assume, because we have the 1-month bear div technically. But here you go. 2-month bearish divergence. Potentially looking to print here. And even if we didn't have the divergence, guys, in my own personal opinion, right, that 2-month red dot may be able to at least give you some more downside here, right? And I know that's not a crowd favorite. And all the things that we just looked at on top of now this 2-month, shout out to Jason sniping this 2-month, definitely not looking great as it is about to print that red dot. Full 2 months for that to actually confirm, which is interesting. That's kind of torturous, to be honest, because if it prints tomorrow, say, we got to drop to the downside. Oh, God, this is, oh, man. I think Jason might have just made me a little more bearish than I already was. Dang. Oh God, guys, I'm sorry. It's just the charts. We're here bringing you the information. This is not my opinion. This is just the VWAP is coming down. This is factual, right? But yeah, yikes. Oh my God. Well, there you go. Yeah, 2 month definitely looking bearish in my opinion. Money flow kind of flat, but there's not that much information here. But yeah, that VWAP coming down, and especially if it starts printing, gives us a move down. The reason I say that's kind of an annoying situation is because let's say we print that red dot tomorrow on the 2 month, and it's like, oh, okay, that could bring us down. And then it disappears. It could literally disappear for tens of days at a time and then still come back last minute to confirm. That could be torturous, but this is definitely not what we want to see for a big move to the upside, guys. Typically, what you would want to see, look what happened on the last big move to the upside, right? We had the VWAP coming up, crossing over the zero line, giving us a green dot and a nice little trigger wave here. Yeah, 2 month. Bearish certified. Absolutely bearish certified. Shout out to Jason. Thank you for pointing that out. God. Oh, God. Anyway, yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, guys. That definitely does not look good. But again, guys, what would that... Oh, shout out to Jason with another $100 super chat. Bro, come on. I appreciate you, bro. You don't have to do that. He said BTC has never printed a shooting star on the 2 month before. Let's get back there for a second. Oh, God. Yes. Yeah, oh, man. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Bearish plus certified. Extra bearish. I'm kidding, but that is super factual. Shout out to Jason. Yeah. Yikes. These candles do look somewhat bearish. And just to kind of show you guys why that is, right? If you come on over to the weekly, and thanks again, Jason. I appreciate the super chats, bro. Thank you so much. But if we do come on over to the weekly time frame, right, we were actually looking at, I'll try to find there was actually a shooting star on the weekly that we were looking at in the bear market, right? Here it is, right? Shooting star is very similar to like a bearish hammer candle, but typically, guys, when you have these long wicks on the upside top of the candle here, is big, tall wick showing that buyers tried to buy price up, and then the sellers just came and ate that all back down. Oftentimes, this could indicate a reversal, or in this case, kind of like a continuation. Typically, you do see these at the bottom or the top of trends. Try to find another one here. Trying to find like a textbook example. But oftentimes, just in general, guys, when you see the long wicks on the downside, like right here, this low wick here came down. All the buyers came and ate it back up. And then we did come down one more time. We never broke the low, but we did wind up getting the reversal, right? If you just look up hammers, bearish hammer, bullish hammer, you guys will see nice little diagrams for that. But yeah, on the 2 month, dang. I thought that looked bearish enough. But yeah, absolutely. Bearish candles at the top like this could indicate more downside, right? Which does also just agree with what we've been looking at on the lower time frames, potentially targeting that 51 to 52K zone, right? And I'll just kind of put our levels here for a second just so I can mark these out somewhat roughly for you guys. I'll pull this area consolidation. I will also pull, this area of consolidation, bada bing. And yeah, right, so if we just kind of pull these two zones, these are definitely going to be the next major zones of support that I'm looking at. And again, the this 47 to about $40,000 zone is more a little bit stronger in my own personal opinion. If we don't hold this monthly naked point of control, 47K is very likely in my opinion. And to kind of move on to the next area of the stream here, guys, I do want to talk about some of these larger volume profiles. Hang on. I don't want to share. I want to actually pull up the premium chart real quick. I'm not going to share any secret sauce, but I do just have some of those levels already marked out. Let me see. Bada boom, bada bing. Pull up the Bitstamp chart. Here we go. Bear with me. No pun intended. Or should I say pun intended? Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Very bear with me. Okay. So here we are. Okay. So, bada boom, right? So, I do want to talk about some of these higher time frame levels, right? Because, again, if we're going to get a big drop down, you guys want to be aware of these kind of signals that we're looking at or these support levels that we're looking at so you're not super panicked when you see those drops to the downside. And speaking about being prepared, I was talking to the premium Discord a little earlier today. hoping that I was able to give them a little bit of kind of peace of mind on this last drop to the downside. And one of the things that we were looking at, guys, again, obviously we were looking at this $56,500 level as our absolute key level of support. And we all talked on the live stream as well that if we broke that level and we were unable to get a strong bounce, right, and we did wind up losing that level, we would see things very quickly move to the downside. Not because breaking that low made us feel bearish, right? But for very specific reasons, looking at the VPVR, right, or the VRVP, as some people call it, what happened? VRVP, I'm getting trolled by TradingView. Now there's two of them. But as you guys know, we had this volume gap sitting just below that wick. You can see, grab my brush tool. It's going to pull up all the TA again here. But, you know, if you draw your line here, right at the end of that wick, we had this big volume gap, which basically brought us down almost to that 51 to 52K zone. And what are we looking at here basically was if we drop that level, right, if we lose that level to the downside, we would very likely fall through this gap very quickly, right? And we talked about how you want to be looking at this stuff because when you see these big panic dumps to the downside, a lot of people are like, oh my God, what's happening? Where's this going to stop? Should I sell? Is it going to bounce? And that's why you want to have all these levels, and not only these levels, but these already preconceived ideas of what is likely to happen next. So when you see the drop, shout out to the CandleMafia, drop a hashtag value in the chat if you guys remember us talking about this. I mean, I feel like we've been beating that dead horse, to be honest. But drop a hashtag value if you guys were prepared when we dropped through this wick that we were going to get that quick move through the downside. And let me know if you were looking at the chart being like, oh, we're gonna drop through that gap, and then boom, we see that drop. Let me know. There's a hashtag value. Shout out to Dave Digital. What is going on? He said like 234 is Dave Digital's. 234 is Dave. Oh, like number 234 is Dave Digital's. It's a sign. Shout out to Dave Digital. Let's go. Smashing that like button. Yeah, you guys remember that gap. And here we are. It's an if this, then that statement, right? If we get a drop below this wick, then we see that gap fill very quickly. And we knew that that next high volume node was between 51 and 52K. We did actually wind up sticking just above that. However, just remember, right? That's how the low volume gaps work, and it's extremely helpful to look at the hashtag values in the chat. I guess a lot of people pay attention during the live stream. I love it. Shout out to the CandleMafia, but shout out to Systematic said hashtag diarrhea. Yes. Should we do some chart art? Draw a toilet here. But anyway, hopefully you guys were able to get some peace of mind on that drop, and you saw that. Hopefully it was like the least stressful drop that you guys have seen after watching this live stream. But let's talk about the higher time frames one more time, or a little bit more in depth here, because there are some key levels I want to look at. So if you guys remember, on the way to the upside here, right, we were looking at a macro value area from the 2021 bull market. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show that right now. Turn off all the other TA. I just showed TA. There we go. Bada boom. I'm actually going to get rid of some of these or hide these local drawings as well. So here we are. Here is that macro, at least on the Bybit chart, the macro bull market volume profile. And this is where we were saying, hey, guys, if we can get a move up to this value area low, once we break above it, that's probably where we're going to see the bigger move up to fill the range, which will bring us up to that 53, 54K level. And what do we see happen? You hit your head, you break above, bing bong, right up to the value area high. You can see the POC was respected on the ETF approval, right? We got to move up to the POC. ETF gets approved. We get that little pullback on the sell the news event, but really, in my eyes, what happened here was we hit that POC, got some turbulence as expected, but you know, once you're above that value area low, the next place for price to go is the POC. Break that POC, go up to the value area high. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, Frankie, why are you talking about price action from a year ago? Well, because we are still able to look at this volume profile, and if you guys see here, not only did we bounce off a daily naked point of control, if we pull up exo charts, you see this daily MPOC sitting at 53,577. So we had that daily naked point of control, but we also came down to test this value area high. Now, why is this important? Well, number one, it's a very strong level of support. Number two, a very important level of support. Because if we get stuck under this value area high, where is the next likely place for price to go? Drop it in the chat and let me know. Shout out to Dave Digital. Shout out to Crypto Billy. I know all you guys know. Drop it in the chat. Shout out to Dave Digital. He said it's Rob's birthday, but I know he means the POC. Once we get stuck underneath this value area high, guys, this could be, there they are. Let's go. Shout out to Evan and Robert and Caesar. You guys know. Shout out to Kenny, Al Jr. Everybody knows. Let's go. Jay Gilly said the mall. He said the mall or the mail? The mall. Yeah, you're right, the mall. If you're in a short, you could cash out and then go to the mall. Shout out to you, brother. But yeah, if we get stuck under that value area high, we are very likely going to get sucked back down to that POC, guys. And where's that POC sitting, guys? Right at $47,000, right? So again, we have that 51 to 52K zone, but just underneath that, you have that 47K level, which is confluent with the POC of the macro range. So these are going to be the next key levels that I am looking at to the downside, guys. So just keep that in mind. 51 to 52K. We lose that, very likely to come down to 47. And then everything in between may just kind of be local noise, at least in my opinion. For the most part, right now, all my shorts have been closed at this point. To be quite honest with you guys, the short on ETH that I had from basically up here, I didn't mean to close the whole trade. It's kind of annoying. I really wish I could have been showing that trade right now. But the trade that I took on this retest, both setups from the premium Discord, on the retest of the value area low, I closed that one in full on purpose. So I am all out of all my shorts at this point. I will be interested in re-entering some shorts if we do come up for some more retests and we get our signals. But right now, for the most part, guys, as I was short from up here, as well as right here, right? These are where you want to get your shorts. You want to short the highs and then enjoy that drop to the downside, right? And then if you get a retracement, you could look for a fresh entry, right? Or if you miss this short, you could wait for that short entry or any of these other lower highs. But then you want to be short here and enjoy the drop to the downside. You don't want to panic short. The amount of people that probably panic shorted this low, right? And now, like, very likely, sure, can we continue down? Yes. But if we're going to come up here for a retracement, these people are just going to short and then get instantly wrecked, right? And that's not what we want to do. We want to make money here. So with that being said, locally, I will say, right, we could potentially see a continued bounce here because if we pull up Market Cipher, whoops, there we go. Pull up Market Cipher here on some of these lower time frames, right? These are lower time frames, such as the 45-minute, such as the 30-minute, etc., right? 30-minute money flow has now crossed over into the green. 45-minute is looking to potentially cross over into the green at some point soon. We are printing a green dot. But as this lower time frame money flow comes up, it could give us a little continuation to the upside here, but not a pump to 100K, right? Very likely not just an instant pump to 100K, because remember, although money flow on the 45-minute and 30-minute is coming up. Now, the reason this 30-minute money flow is interesting to me is because we are now still printing this green dot on the 8-hour. And if you guys remember, 8-hour green dot with the 30-minute money flow crossover into the green can sometimes give us a bigger move to the upside, right? Or a significant move to the upside. But although that low time frame money flow is coming out, this is where your time frames, understanding the context of different time frames is extremely important, especially if you are trading. Look at the 2-day, right? The longer term trend is much more likely to continue down. This is where I think it's hard as a trader to kind of, and shout out to Jason. If you're still in here, bro, I'm sure you, maybe you don't. I might be the only one who thinks about this, but you probably struggle with this as well. Trying to get across, like, are you bullish or are you bearish, right? And it really depends on the time frame you're talking about. On the 2-day, I'm more bearish for a continuation to the downside. But if I'm looking for day trades or scalps, right? We know that the market moves in ebbs and flows, right? So if we get a little move up like this on the 2-day, that is going to look pretty big on a lower time frame, right? So I could trade that as a long trade on the lower time frames, but I know the context of the market right now is to look at that trade as a lackluster push to the upside to put the lower high in and continue to the downside, which is exactly what we looked for on that last drop. And I said this earlier in premium, I always say it with the same kind of cadence to hopefully help people remember, right? It's like, on this exact thing, we said any bounce to the upside. Actually, specifically, we're looking at this green dot on the 2-day for a bounce to the upside. I said, but if we get that, we have to understand money flow indicates the trend. This green dot is likely only going to be an ebb to the upside before a flow back to the downside to break structure and continue the trend to the downside. And here we are, just seeing that play out once again. Shout out to Creighton C. Thank you so much for that super chat, bro. Let's go. I appreciate you, man. He says 12-hour VWAP coming up with the 45-minute money flow as well. Yeah, shout out to Creighton. the two setups there, right? You have the 8-hour green dot with the 30-minute money flow, and then you also have the $12 green dot, the 12-hour green dot with the 45-minute money flow crossover, potentially looking to come into the green here, which is kind of this using that same strategy for a significant move to the upside. Now, on top of that, if you were to get a bounce here, now again, higher time frame still bearish, right? So we're still looking for lackluster pumps, but if we get a divergence here with the lower low on price action into a key level of support, higher low on your momentum waves, that would also likely assist the push to the upside. But that divergence alone, even on the lower, even with the 45-minute money flow coming up, that is typically divergences aren't enough to look for a gigantic move, but oftentimes they will give you some kind of pop in the direction you're looking for. So a lot of things saying that we could potentially get a continued bounce here. However, on the longer time frames, that here's the thing, right? Where is, right, this retracement, right, on the 12-hour, right? As you guys know, here's that range that we were looking at, and then we came up and we bearishly retested, come to the 2-day. We bearishly retested. I'll just look at it on this chart because it's already up. Right, we broke down, and then we bearishly retested the value area low before getting rejected out of the range, right? This bounce does not look that crazy, right? That's on the higher time frames. It looks like a lackluster push to the upside, lower high, and a continuation down. But if you look at this on a low time frame, right, this is where people are like, what the heck? I thought we were bearish. Why are we pumping? It's like you have to understand the time frames, right? So if you come down to something like a 15-minute, right, this little pop to the upside, right, from here to here looks like a big move. And people are like, what the heck? I thought we were bearish. Why are we pumping so hard? Oh, my God, the pump is continuing. Oh, my God, I missed the bottom. But you have to take a deep breath, zoom out, and look at the context of the price action, right, or the context of the time frames. Because, sure, you could profit off these little longs and shorts. We scalped this range pretty nice in the premium, but we knew that once we came up to this golden pocket, if we could find local short entries, we would take them because what we saw here was low time frame bearish divergences with a swing failure pattern of this wick right here as we were testing but testing this golden pocket and the value area low, which is key resistance, which is why the purple box is here as resistance. And what happens? We take that position, and that indeed was the reason we took this was because we knew in the context of the 2-day, hey, we may be able to put that lower high in here. Maybe it's a good place to short in case we break that structure like we would expect to the downside. And it's exactly what happened, right? So that is really what I'm looking at on Bitcoin, especially in the longer term, guys. I want you to remember the context of these right here, right? Remember the context of looking at the bull market value areas here, right? We are approaching very key levels, and this could be the doorway to lower prices, and those lower prices potentially being the POC down to $47,000, right? So when we were up in the 64, 63K region, right, or even up at the 70K region, we would, put the thumbnails like 51, 52K next. I actually, shout out to I think it was the thumbnail a couple of days ago. I know it was on the market update. We were like 52K next. And although we didn't get all the way down there, like a lot of people didn't think that we would ever get anywhere close. But here we are, right? The chart's played out. So, are we about to be looking at our next thing being like 47K next? And it's going to sound crazy, and the bulls are going to hate it, but it's just an option, right? We're not trying to, again, like I'm not calling for 47K, but it would not be unlikely here. You can't be taking like binary decisions here. It's not really how trading works, right? It has to be a bullish case, a bearish case, and then figure out which way has the more confluence, and then kind of bet on that end of the spectrum. So, with all that being said, guys, I'm going to jump into chat for 1 second. Also, if you want to drop your favorite altcoins in the chat, go ahead. Rob the Crypto Stomp will count up the votes, and we'll take a couple of looks at the altcoins as well. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to Christopher Brown says this dump feels like the bull market is over or will never happen. Well, so shout out to Christopher, right? This is also a context thing, right? The bull market, right? Something I think a lot of people, and I'm not saying this is you, but and even if it was you, it's not a bad thing. I think a lot of people are very scared, right? And I don't blame you, right? Like, especially if you're newer to crypto, this is not a bad thing. I was new to crypto. I bought tops before, right? This is not for me to say I'm better, right? I know what I'm doing. I'm better. Nothing like that, right? I bought tops probably more than most people, right? But this is just to give you kind of a little bit of info on the context, right? I've been saying this a lot often, not because I want to brag that I bought in at 21 to 22K, or I'm sorry, 20 to 21K, but Right, the bottom of the bear market was all the way back here. Since the bottom of the bear market, we've pumped 300, almost 400%, right? So when in doubt, zoom out. Don't panic, zoom out, right? Now, oftentimes people who are feeling this pain, right, are like, oh my God, we're dumping, I'm so scared, right? Chances are these people probably bought up in this range, and it's okay, right? It's okay. Almost, I think everybody has to go through a cycle or two where they're buying tops, right? It takes a long time to try to figure out this market and remove your emotions. But remember, 30% pullbacks are not uncommon. This is only a 25% pullback. This is not uncommon for a bull market, right? And we did this in the premium Discord earlier today. Like you could see, especially after the halving, you get a lot of volatility, right? And the only reason anyone would be scared here is if they bought up here, right? Because now they're in the red. But for, if you were DCAing into the bottom of the bear market, this is just a little knock to the downside. But just to give a little peace of mind here, guys, think back to 2020, right? The bottom of the market came in here, right? And then you rallied 340%. 340%. Does that sound familiar? Well, where'd we go? 74? I'll just mark it up. I'm not going to pull up the candles. 378%, right? Somewhat similar, right? So you get a 350% pump and then a massive correction and a black swan that dumps you down 72%, right? And was the bull market over at that point? Well, if you were buying up here, yes, that would be like at 69K and then waiting for price and then feeling price go all the way back down to 15K. That was the same ride that people who bought up here had. But for the people who were buying the bottom of the bear market, they even got almost a break even. That's pretty brutal. But was this bull market over? Not really, right? Because what was this in hindsight? Basically, it was just a macro 786 Fibonacci retracement, right? And on a weekly, you did wind up getting back above that 786 and then going off into your parabolic bull run. So you have to understand that there is commonly, right, very typically, there was a lot of turbulence and volatility, especially after the halving, which here was, this was actually before the halving technically, but even after the halving, you get a lot of volatility here. But this is the bottom of that bear market. The bull market was indeed not over, right? This was honestly just one last shakeout before the real move, right? And a lot of people probably let go of their bags on this drop to the downside only to watch things rip back up. I'm sure a lot of people who did that probably just said, screw investing forever, right? It's a brutal, brutal move to go through. But was the bull market over? No. You technically put in a higher low, and then you wound up continuing back to the upside. So I'm not saying we're going to get a 75% dump, but let's imagine that something similar happens here, and this is something that we look at on the show many times. Let's say we go back down to not even the 786, but even just the golden pocket down to about $37,000 to $35,000, which is also the Bitstamp POC. There's a lot of confluence in this level as well. I'm not going to go all into that. But let's say we went down to that golden pocket. Now, would this be bullish? No, not necessarily. But in the grand scheme of the 4-year cycle, even if you went down to that 786 and pulled something somewhat similar to 2020, where you get some kind of crazy black swan, all the structure gets broken, and you come into the 786 and then break back to the upside, like this is something that has happened before, right? And it still wasn't the end of the bull market. It really depends on how you identify bull markets, right? You can identify bull markets based off market structure. I kind of mix it between market structure, but also the 4-year cycle. This did not break the 4-year cycle. You just still kept going to the upside. So, when in doubt, zoom out. This is honestly somewhat casual, right? This is typical for Bitcoin, but it doesn't mean, right? Like, remember, shout out to Jason, that 2-month bear div actually doesn't look that great, right? Or even just the red dot on the 2-month doesn't really look that great, right? So could we get a bigger move down? For sure. But again, is the bull market over? I wouldn't say so just yet, right? Even if we came down to this value area low, technically, you put in a macro higher low, and then maybe you get a big push to the upside. But hopefully that was able to put some people's minds at peace, right? Just when in doubt, zoom out. If you feel like you bought the top here, it's okay, right? Take it as a learning lesson. And if you didn't invest your entire bag up there, the next time you buy the fear, sell the greed. No one wanted to buy Bitcoin down here, right? A lot of people did. But like most people were like, oh my God, FTX, crypto's a scam, regulation, right? Regulation was like all this crazy stuff. But what I was just buying through that fear. Like, I don't care. I've heard so much FUD, right? The previous cycles, coin, this, that, all this stuff, all this crazy bearish stuff that you think is going to be the end of crypto. But in hindsight, multiple times, you can look back and be like, that was actually when I should have been buying. But it takes a few of those mistakes to actually feel the pain and then reverse your decision, right? And then the next time you feel fear, maybe we get some kind of crazy black swan and you're really scared, right? But you're coming down to key support. Maybe then you're like, no, I'm not getting scammed this time. I'm buying. Screw these people. These people bought some people bought in at the bottom of a worldwide pandemic, right? A worldwide pandemic. But the people who bought that fear were greatly, greatly, greatly rewarded, right? Fortune favors the bold. Shout out, what is that, Crypto.com? Shout out to Crypto.com. That's not FTX, right? No, it's Crypto.com, I think. Fortune favors the brave, right? Or the bold, whatever. So just remember that, right? You got to buy the fear, sell the greed. And when you have everybody up here super bullish, it's more where whales like to take profit rather than, especially people who are getting their repayments from Mt. Gox, right? That's another thing that we kind of have. Is that going to be the black swan where everyone kind of sells their Mt. Gox profits? You have to realize that these people are way, way, way up on their investments. But again, oftentimes with that stuff, you have to understand we have more institutional interest than ever. We are not selling into an empty market. In my opinion, there is more people looking to absorb those sells than ever, right? Especially because we have institutions in here now, likely going to absorb a lot of that, right? And even retail now, like crypto's a little less shady, I feel like, to the mainstream person. They're like, yeah, it's been around for a while. Bitcoin does nothing but go up, it looks like, right? It's kind of more mainstream now. So, these sells are likely not just going to be one gigantic sell all at one time. Maybe it will. But oftentimes, it's really the panic of the actual retail based off that news that causes the big drops to the downside. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't mean like all of the Mt. Gox people are all going to sell at the same time, especially if they think we're on the cusp of another bull run. But, I mean, if you're up $150 million, I just get out and not have to look at the charts anymore. But with that being said, guys, hopefully I'm able to give you some peace of mind and just kind of show you guys how I look at the charts and how I like to understand things to keep my emotions out of the game. So this dropped out to the downside in the grand scheme of things, especially when you're looking at buying fear and selling greed. Is it really nothing? A 30% dump is, again, only 25%, but a 30% dump is really just a, not uncommon in a bull market. But even if we see something crazy like this, understand crazy things have happened in crypto. So just keep that in mind. But the beautiful thing is we can use this volume profile as kind of our roadmap. And you can watch this live stream. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. You smash the like button so you don't miss any market updates or live streams. But I'll be right here alongside the Candle Mafia holding up that candle, lighting the way for you guys. So with all that being said, I'm just kidding, guys. We're going to do the altcoins. But hang on. Shout out to ZC Productions. Let's go. Shout out to you, man. Thank you so much for that super chat. He said, always happy to catch a live stream, bro. Can you peep the snack chart for me? There is also a live snack spacing on all month and would love for you to hop in. Also, if you didn't get a snack energy, let's hook you up. Hey, shout out to ZC. Yeah, bro, hit me up in Discord, and yeah, we could try to talk about it. I don't know if what my schedule looks like or anything like that, but hit me up. We'll talk about it. I appreciate the super chat, bro. But yeah, shout out to Crypto Kids at Almost a Frankie Fake Out. So yeah, Rob, did we get the altcoins yet? Okay, yeah, shout out to Rob. Thank you, brother. We got the altcoins. We'll check in on those right now. Let's go ahead and replace that pinned comment. And let's see. Yeah, shout out to Just a Guy. He said, you can't compare something that happened 8 years ago. Different fundamentals, regulations, etc. I agree with you halfway there. Shout out to Just a Guy. I don't know if you're still in here. But a lot of people will say that you can't, and I would agree with you, right? Like you can't, you can't, just look what happened in the past. That's why when I look at the 4-year cycle, I don't base all my decisions off of that, but I will say this, right? By analyzing the previous cycle, we were able to make some crazy calls on this Bitcoin move based off of what we were looking at in 2020, and more specifically, looking at the cycle chart that I have created here. Kind of just marking out all the different halvings, all the different tops, the bottoms, the distance between them, how long it took us to do certain things. And when you start actually doing this analysis, the math is horrifyingly creepy. Now, again, it doesn't guarantee, right? Like, 364 days from the bottom to the all-time high, so it has to happen again. But Oftentimes history rhymes, especially on a chart, and we were able to make some absolutely insane calls off Bitcoin by just reanalyzing previous cycles. But absolutely, you have to take in the changes in fundamentals. Like, we didn't have crazy institutional interest over here, right? We didn't have crazy institutional interest over here. We didn't have spot ETFs over here, right? So things do change. Things are different, and I do believe that over time, this cycle will definitely change. I think it's only a matter of fact, right? Or a matter of time, and also a matter of fact, because as the market matures, as more money enters the asset, it changes the way the market behaves, right? Not like literally based off numbers, right? Because the more money you have in the market, the more money it takes to move the price, right? That's why you get explosive gains on altcoins, and Bitcoin's going to give you like a 2 to 3x, right? Or 3 to 4x, right? At least in, short term, right? So it's because you need a lot more money to move that big asset with all that that high market cap. So with that being said, right, we've never broken an all-time high before the halving, right? We've done that. This is something that's different this cycle, right? So things are definitely going to be different, but you could definitely analyze history to try to see if things line up. But yeah, I would agree with you for the most part. I don't know if you're still in here, but shout out to you. Thank you for bringing that up because that is important. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, true. Check the 4-year cycles. Just this time we broke the all-time high. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you read my mind. Shout out to Just a Guy. But yeah, history rhymes, right? Like, I wouldn't be making like, and who knows, right? Here's the thing. Every time we've seen a Bitcoin bull market, we've seen traditional finance go as well, right? So, like, if we were to see a massive crash in the stock market, right, this is likely going to affect crypto, right? Unless people run to crypto as a safe haven, I don't think we're there yet. I think there's just still too many people who are skeptical about it, especially coming from traditional finance. So, if we're basically just track traditional finance, right? So if the traditional markets just absolutely take a dump, Bitcoin's likely to follow, and if that happens in the middle of the 4-year cycle, that would completely break the cycle, right? So it's kind of hard to say, though, because it's always just lined up so perfectly with the halving, and that narrative is so good, right? It makes a lot of sense, too. That's my thing, is like the 4-year cycle does make sense, right? Every halving, it gets twice as hard to mine the Bitcoin, making it more rare, which it causes a supply shock and creates a big move up, right? That just totally makes sense. But is it really just tracking traditional finance? Maybe. It's hard to say. So, yeah. But that's really why I approach the markets completely agnostically, guys, right? It's not like, people will stand, it's the 4-year cycle, right? Like, sure, maybe, right? I'm agnostic, maybe. But if I find out that it's just tracked to traditional finance, I'm not going to be that shocked, right? You don't have to have that binary answer, right? You can manage your risk. You can manage your money. You can manage your bankroll. You don't have to make a 100% bet on one thing. At least that's how I handle it, right? Sure, a lot of people have gotten rich just making a random risky guess. But anyway, shout out to Calvin4K, says, exactly, Frankie gets it. In case we have a global crash, BTC is going to tank below 9K. That's the thing. It's like, yeah, like, oh my God, we've never broken, these special levels. It's like, if something happens that's never happened before, right? Like that's how history is made, right? Like something different will happen, and then we'll look back and be like, oh, except that one time. So absolutely. That's why I don't really, if you guys watch the show, like I'm never like, Bitcoin will hit $100,000 on this date, right? If we make a video like that and you watch the video, we'll be like, an estimation based off this information could be a possibility, right? Because nobody knows. If anybody knew exactly what was going to happen in these markets, I wouldn't have a job. I would just give that guy all my money and be like, make me rich, right? It's why we don't do signals groups. But anyway, let's continue on here. Taking a look at some of the altcoins. I appreciate everybody in here. Smash that like button if you're finding any kind of value, or maybe drop a hashtag value in the chat as well if you are digging this live stream. 550 likes. We're going to give away 3 Frankie Candles hats as well as, I think, 10 bags of Cardano. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob or Captain or Crypto Billy or Tony or somebody. If anyone has that link, if you guys could drop that link for me so everybody can like and comment on that video so they can win some free crypto. Shout out to Greg, said, I know what's going to happen with Bitcoin. Greg, send me your ETH address. I will send you all of my money. Value for days. Shout out to Patrick. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out Solana. Which, by the way, Solana's 100% going to zero. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. I really like, not that you can't think like that, but just let me tell you, the sooner you realize that you can't just predict these markets perfectly, like even as a technical analyst or a trader, trust me, if it was that easy, if I had this, if anybody had a signals group that won all the time, I would get into that signals group, set up a bot to trade those signals, and I would literally not do anything. I'd probably go crazy after a week, but everybody would be rich. But yeah, Solana, like anyone's like, Solana's going to zero, it's garbage, or this coin's definitely going up, you're an idiot if you don't buy. Those are warning signs to not pay attention to that kind of stuff, right? These are people being very emotional about what is going to happen, and this is literally the opposite of what you want to do if you want to make monies in the if you want to make monies in the market, guys. But anyway, taking a look at Solana, woohoo, baby. So as you guys know, as we've been looking at Solana here, you guys know our key level of support was this blue box sitting between $140 and $133, right? Now, this is not a it's the POC, the value area low, and a weekly naked point of control. I will be honest with you guys. We really needed to remain above this blue box for me to remain bullish on Solana. However, when you slip below a value area low, this is not necessarily the time to get bearish, right? The time to get bearish here in the recent past would be on a lower high, right? Because that way, if you were in a short, at least you'd be in profit right now and be able to move your stop loss to entry, right? So if we get stuck under this weekly naked point of control, right, or we can't get back above the value area low, we could potentially, like the next levels below us remain the same, right? It's going to be the previous value area high at 109 and the POC at 101. I don't want to see those prices for Solana either. To be honest with you guys, I believe it was on this dump back here. Is this the April dump? Yeah. So in April here, I actually picked up a sizable bag of Solana. I added to my bag, right? So I don't want to go down there either, but it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't care what we want. But if, right, we kind of have the same thing going on here as far as the green dot on the 8-hour with our 30-minute money flow, looking to cross over into the green here, kind of flirting with that zero line, looking for a potential green dot. That could give us another pop to the upside. We also, if we come on over to the higher time frames, 12-hour green dot's not quite printing just yet. But yeah, that 8-hour green dot could give you a continued push up here. But really, we got to get not only above the value area low, but I would really like to get back above that POC. And once we break above that POC, if we can hold it, the next likely stop is going to be these two levels here, coming in between about 160 and 175. But again, we got to get back up there. Now, you have a slight bullish divergence here to the wicks on the 6-hour. Let's check the 4-hour. Come on, TradingView. Don't troll me anymore, TradingView. Shout out to Alexandra G. Well, shout out to Crypto Billy for shouting out Alexandra G. But also shout out to Alexandra. Good to see you. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. But yeah, okay. So let's see. Yeah, 4-hour money flows kind of bing bonging around. Yeah, I'd be careful here, right? Now, if we come up to the much higher time frames, such as it's like same thing as Bitcoin, right? Like, contrary to what most people not most people, but like a lot of people like, keep it simple, guys, right? Like, if Bitcoin dumps, Solana's going to follow, right? Like, sure, you could get these weird situations where like a coin decouples from like from Bitcoin, like some meme coins, right? If you have a group of people like manipulating a meme coin in a group or something, like sure, that thing's gonna move separate than Bitcoin. But for the most part, if Bitcoin dumps to 47K, we're gonna get another move down on Solana, right? This just is what it is, right? Especially when the chart looks similar. And the 2-day money flow has just crossed over into the red. And we do have that fresh red dot on the 2-day, which, by the way, was another one of those signs that we were looking at on Bitcoin. Was it yesterday? Not yesterday. Was it? I think it was on Thursday, the day before yesterday. Wednesday. That 2-day red dot. Yeah, it was the day before yesterday. On the 3rd, we were looking at that 2-day red dot being like, hey, that could start the move, right? Especially with that money flow crossover into the red. Had to be careful there. Same thing on Solana. This 2-day red dot's printing with the money flow coming out. We have to anticipate that the downtrend is more likely to continue. Until that money flow shapes back up, that has to be our bias, right? So can you look for scalp longs based off the money flow crossovers with the green dots that we just talked about with the 8-hour, 30-minute, etc.? Sure, but you have to understand the context of that is for a lackluster push up to more likely, not guaranteed, but more likely give you another drop to the downside to your next key zones of support. And these are definitely going to be, these are for sure going to be the levels. Feel free to screenshot them in case we get a drop over the weekend, which If something else crazy happens, I will check in with you guys over the weekend. I'll make a video where I'll drop a live stream or something like that. You just can't keep me off these dang charts. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on here. Take a look at our next altcoin. Bottom boom. You guys are funny, man. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to B Frank Crypto. Hey. B Frank. I don't know if your name is also Frank, but if it is, I think there's a reason we have the same name, bro. Shout out to you. Lower lows and lower highs. That is a bearish trend. Right now, I think the biggest distinction we have to make is it a, are you basing the bear market off of a macro trend, or are you basing the bear market, are you taking the 4-year cycle into account? It's a little bit different. I kind of do it both ways. But yeah, a lower lows and lower highs would indeed be a bearish trend, right? So at this point, there's no reason to be looking for massive when their 2-day money flow is just crossing over into the red. If this was the case where we had a massive downtrend, right? We had a big downtrend. We're hitting key support. We're at a value area low. Golden pocket 786 retracement. We're getting massive bullish signals. And this money flow wave has already come down big time, and we're starting to see it come back up. This is where you want to take your long entries, right? Your big long entries, your spot dip by the dip scenarios, right? That is what you want to see, not a fresh money flow crossover into the red. So especially when it's fresh like that, it means that lower lows and the lower highs is likely to continue down. Again, not guaranteed, but very likely, right? Like more often than not. It's exactly why we were able to predict the move on Bitcoin. Shout out to anybody who saw my market update. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on here. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Dave Digital. Said, Frankie, are you going to Piano Matty B's tonight? Shout out to Piano Matty B. If you guys are into dueling pianos, he will be live. Dave Digital will tell you the exact time. Shout out to Dave. I'm actually going to be going out with Mrs. Candles tonight because she's home for the first time in 2 weeks. And I was telling her how hard of a time I was having. And I was telling her, the Mafia missed you guys. I was in tears like every stream. I could barely function. We weren't having fun at all. And it was horrible. And now she's back and we're happy. Help me. We love it. Help me. I'm just kidding, guys. I love Mrs. Candles, but I am going to be going out with her tonight. 10:30. I might be able to be there. Shout out to Dave. Maybe I will pop in, drop a little stanky leg on Piano Matty B and the crew. Let's go, guys. Go check out Piano Matty B. I wish he was live right after us. I'd rate him. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. We took a look at Solana. Let's take a look at Link. Bada boom. All right, there we go. Coinbase. Can't make it up. What is this level here? It's probably the POC of this range, I would assume. Yep, there you go. Right down to that POC, getting that bounce. It was probably a naked point of control. Let me go ahead and get rid of some of these local levels. Try to clean things up a bit. Get rid of this background. This is ugly. I don't want to see this background. Come on. Get out my face, histogram. Okay. So here we are. By the way, if you guys are looking for a place to trade, don't forget to check out Blowfin. Link in the description down below. I know a lot of people are having trouble getting on exchanges depending on where you live. But if you guys want to check out the exchanges and help out the CandleMafia and also get access. I always have to check in on the dining room because Tony D drops the setups. He takes them from the premium. But if you guys are not in the dining room and you are looking for a place to trade, you might as well use our link to get access to the dining room, which is our freemium section of the Discord, where we did have the short from 72K in here for free. So if you're interested and you're looking to take your trading to the next level, look at the Mrs. Candles hands. Let's go. But if you guys are looking to get a taste of what we do in the premium Discord, how I do the post, and how we set up for these trades and trade alongside, you can check out the dining room. Free way to kind of get, it's almost like a free trial that doesn't end. But you only get one post a week, right? We do this every day. In the premium. But if you guys are interested, you can check that out. And you'll also have to sign up with one of our exchange affiliates. And if you're looking, Blowfin seems to be the place that people are having a better time with. So you can check that out in the link in the description down below. Also, hey, shout out to Jason. Jason, I got to get back to you, bro. I didn't realize those were in there. But let's go ahead and continue on. So here we go. On Link, let's pull up that monthly time frame. Not the monthly time frame. Let's pull up the weekly. Bada boom. Was this an MPOC? Yeah. So look at this, guys. You can't make it up, right? So we had this weekly naked point of control down here. It's exactly where we bounced off of. This is why you want to look at those lower naked volume profiles or MPOCs down below. It's where we're getting the bounce from right now. But if I'm being quite frank with you, no pun intended, I will say higher time frames actually looking a bit different than Bitcoin, if I'm being quite honest. Money flow pretty deep in the red here on the 2-day, to be quite honest. And this is particularly bullish candle. And this is on Bitcoin too, right? That's it's kind of like a somewhat of a bullish hammer candle. But I will say that, right? Even on Bitcoin, right? If we were to get some kind of random just explosion to the upside and all the money flow on the higher time frames just rips back into the green and we go off to 100K somehow, this is somewhat of a bullish candle, right? Especially if we close it above this wick here. But again, my general thoughts are like, even if we close above here, it would be a good sign, but there are still major signs of weakness here. So we really have to see how that, honestly, the weekly candle closes. So at the, once that weekly candle closes on Sunday, are we below? Are we above? And that's kind of where you have to make that decision. But as of right now, even the weekly candle, not a bullish weekly candle, but the daily is somewhat bullish. But technically, this candle, the weekly candle closes on Sunday, so maybe we even get like a little bounce and then another push down. It really depends on where we are when that new weekly candle prints. Is it above this level, which, by the way, is sitting at 56.5 or specifically 56.448 on the Bitstamp chart, bit by bit chart? That's going to be the level to close above on the weekly. So you might want to have that marked out. But coming back over to Link, bada boom, right? So sure, you got a little bit of a bullish candle here on the daily, right? But doesn't necessarily mean a big move to the upside, right? Weekly, not printing a bullish candle. So, but other than that, right? Yeah, the MPOC that you're bouncing off right now. But I would say this: if you do continue down and we do come back down to that level, this is your zone to look at, right? This is that next volume profile you're going to look at to keep an eye on what price is likely to do next, right? So if you do break back in, we came down, bounced off the MPOC. But if we do wind up coming back down here, you could use this kind of as your guide into where price might go next. And if you come down here and start to create a range, this also would work out range, right? You can look for the shorts at the highs, longs at the lows, typical volume profile trading as we talk about here every single weekday. So with that being said, that's kind of what I'd be looking at on Link. 2-day looking a little bit different. 4-day money flow crossing over into the red. So really the higher time frames don't look much better. 2-day has been in the red much longer, but this would still indicate, even if we get an ebb or flow to the upside, that the longer term downtrend, again, even if you get a bounce, right? If we rip from $11 back up to $14, people are going to be like, oh my God, we're bullish. But still might be a lower high for lower prices to come because the money flow is crossing into the red. So there you go. Quick look at Link. I'll be honest, guys. Like a lot of these alts are going to be very similar, right? I'm looking to let this dust settle, find a range, get our bearings, see where the clear setups are, and then make decisions. So see if we can let the dust settle over the weekend. But honestly, a lot of these altcoins are going to look very, very similar. So yeah, shout out to Ondo. I'll be honest. I'll be Ondo with you. I want Ondo to dump. I want to buy more Ondo. I feel I don't own enough Ondo. So I would love for this to dump down one more time, right? With this money flow on the daily crossing into the red, the downtrend is probably, actually, let me zoom in real quick. I want to see something. Okay. I do want to, let's get rid of all this TA here. Zoom out. Bada boom. Let's see. Yeah, this would likely mean, right, if that money flow continues into the red, this is a fresh crossover, meaning this could be the beginning of the downtrend, right? So this low, high, or lower high, lower low, lower high, really lower low. You had a little higher low here, but it was kind of just noise. But you basically have your downtrend here, right? If that money flow continues into the red, very likely to continue the downtrend, potentially targeting this old area of consolidation, which I'll give you the next fresh levels underneath us. Let's pull them nice and clean. Bada boom. Bada bing. Get rid of these brush tools. Bada boom. Turn this neutral. Grab our lines. Bada value area high. POC. Value area low, right? So if this money flow crossover into the red is going to continue down, bing bong, right down to the value area high POC, right back down to the value area low. If we deviate below that value area low, we could potentially look for longs. And then if we do come in here and start to create a range, again, we can use that as a little day trade scalp range. But that money flow would indicate the trend is continuing down. This is your next key level of support, in my opinion. Not financial advice. As always, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a crazy guy on YouTube screaming into a camera. But pull up the monthly. Yeah, you have a monthly naked point of control in here as well. So that would be some nice confluence. Monthly. So yeah, this would definitely be kind of the key levels I'll be looking at on Ondo. But money flow, definitely looking similar to Bitcoin long term. Doesn't mean you can't get retracements. Remember, a 5, 10, 20% pump to the upside on an altcoin is not unlikely, but that money flow would indicate more downside for sure. 2-day money flow also coming out as well. If Bitcoin continues down, you bet your bottom dollar Ondo is likely to follow unless we just get some kind of crazy alt season, which shout out to anybody who's been watching this live stream. Shout out to you guys. Literally, I think there's like a new rule on this channel, guys. If I say I feel crazy for looking at something, bet the farm on it. Not financial advice. That's a joke. It's a satire and entertainment only. But for real, I felt crazy on Wednesday, talking about the total 3 coming all the way back down to this 786. What happened? Right down to the 786. When we are talking about what is unpopular everywhere else, typically it plays out. This is not me saying that, right? This is just like through experience. Every time every time I find myself feeling hesitant to like say something because it seems kind of crazy, I'm like, gosh, like, are we really? I probably said it. If you guys find the clip, I was probably like, I don't know if we're gonna go down that low, but might as well have the level here in case we get some kind of crazy dump. And where did this go? Right to that 786. Where did it bounce? Right on that 786. So, with that being said, this is not necessarily indicative of an alt season either, right? Obviously, typically Bitcoin will cool off, right? Go sideways or kind of cool off as the altcoins run. If this was the final 786 washout, maybe that happens. But money flow, look at the money flow. The 2-day money flow in the red. Like, this is just overall bearish looking in my opinion. So, yeah, just wanted to kind of bring that up. But anyway, let's continue on, right? So on Ondo, that's what I'd be looking at. More downside, probably likely based off money flow. But we could look for scalps at these local levels. We start a range. We could day trade that, etc. So let's go ahead and move on to our next altcoin, which is going to be Gala or Gala, as some people like to call. Oh, my God, we have to do the giveaways. We're good on time. Okay. Oh, good Lord. Shout out to Gala. Going to 0. I'm just kidding. It's a joke. All right. Yeah, just lost that range. Yikes. Not great. Not great. Not good. All right, let's see here. Let's hide that TA. Bada boom. Let's pull up some weekly naked points of controls. Bada boom. Pull up the monthlies. I will label these out. Got a monthly up here, which we're obviously extremely, extremely far away from. But we can go ahead and just label all these. There's not that many. Got one here. That one's not confirmed, and you got one here. And then I will pull up the weeklies as well, which we have quite a few more. Got a weekly just above you. Bada boom. And you got another weekly up there and another weekly up here. Change this to weekly. Okay. Come on over to the daily. Yeah, you actually might even be able to look at this kind of as a large volume profile. Turn off the indicators, come to the daily. Pull a fib from the low all the way up to the high. Yikes. Yeah, not looking good, honestly. If I'm being quite honest with you. Let's see. Shout out to Tony D. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, bro. He said, likes have been good, but we could do even better. Shout out to Tony D. We're going for 257 million likes on this live stream, guys. 3 Frankie Candles hats. If we hit 550, I'll be honest with you. I don't have the screen pulled up that shows me that, so I don't know how many viewers we have. I don't know how many likes we have, but hopefully we're giving away some hats tonight. But if not, smash that like button like crazy right now if you want free crypto and free hats. We're going to give them away in just a second once we finish this Gala TA. So, yeah, looks like we've lost this POC. I'm kind of experiment with this volume profile really quick. Yeah. Yikes. Okay, so I would probably... Yeah, it doesn't look good, to be honest. I would really like to hold this value area low. And if you deviate, like you don't really want to come back down to this monthly naked point of control. If you do, you want it to be like a quick deviation and then a big move up, back to the high of the range. But this is kind of the context I would be looking at. It's a little bit of a wonked out range, to be quite honest with you. But, yeah, I mean, I would be looking at this volume profile. This monthly naked point of control is your last line of defense. You don't hold this, you might be putting in new lows for Gala. But again, you're still within the profile. You can still bounce off this value area low. Definitely not looking the best. I mean, Gala's low-key been doing pretty bad. Like, I mean, it kind of barely broke out of its range. Got stuck back underneath, back to the POC, back. Yeah, I would anticipate that value area low to come in. 2-day money flow in the red. 3-day money flow in the red. Fresh 3-day red dot. 4-day money flow crossing over with a fresh red dot. 5-day. I would actually say this money flow looks a little more bullish on the 5-day. But, yeah, bearish on the 6-day. Weekly VWAP coming up. Yeah, I would err on the side of caution here with the Gala. But those are the key levels I'd be looking at. Looking very similar to everything else. Money flow's coming out, guys. I'm letting the dust settle here for potential extra moves to the downside. Shout out to Mark Dutch, said, Wick fam on fire. Let me warn Piano Matty P. You guys about to go tear up the... all right, let's see. Shout out to Game Dave TV. Says, a hat would be dope with a signature. Shout out to Game Day TV. We actually got to get back to that, Tony. For like giveaways and stuff, we should we used to put like cards and stuff in there. We got to start that back up. But if you do win a hat, my friend, I will sign it for you. If you want. I always think like people always ask me to sign their hats. Like even at Bitcoin Miami, people were like taking pictures with us and they'd ask me to sign their hat. I'm like, you want me to draw on the hat? Like I was like, let me sign the inside. Like, don't you want to wear it? They're like, yeah, I'll wear it with the signature. I'm just like, I've never written my name on stuff for people. It's crazy. Super blessed to be in that situation. Weirdest thing in the world, though. Let's see. We got to get back to that, Tony. Shout out to K Diggity. K Diggity just co-signing. Let's go. I love it. Okay, yeah, shout out to Game Dave TV. Let's see if we can get you one. If you like and commented on the video that was linked, hopefully. Tony did... I think Tony dropped it, or one of the mods probably dropped it. There we go. Shout out to Rob. There is the link. I appreciate you, brother. I'm going to pin that to the top of the chat here. So if you click, I'll give you guys I'll give you like 3 minutes. I'm actually going to put the timer on here. You got 3 minutes starting now to click that link, like, and comment on that video for a chance to win a free Frankie Candles hat or one of our 10 free bags of Cardano. And shout out to Tyler Jordan. I didn't see Tyler in here. I don't know if Tyler is here today, which means these giveaways, if he's not here, means these giveaways may be chaotic. But maybe Tony and Rob and Captain and Crypto Billy can help us out. Shout out to Sam Rose. I appreciate that so much. Said, market is crashing, and there's no place I'd rather be. Thanks, Frankie. Shout out to Sam Rose. I appreciate those kind words. And I appreciate you for being in here, and there's no other people I'd rather be sharing this market crash with than the Candle Mafia. Because you guys know, if you take this information on the live stream, guys, I bet you there's a lot of people in here that have made money on these crashes to the downside, whether it's the whole move from 72K, even if you're not in the premium, there's some saucy information on these live streams that can help you profit on these moves to the downside. Shout out to Tony D. Okay, so it's only 10 bags of Cardano. Okay, that's fine. Well, if we get 550 likes somehow, by some kind of miracle, we will give away the 3 Frankie Candles hats. And if you guys want to buy a hat and you don't want to wait for the chance to win them, you guys can check out FrankieCandlesTrading.com. No, that's not what I wanted. Come on. Frankie Candles Trading. Why is this happening to me? Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. FrankieCandlesTrading.com. Pull up the lower third. I could probably just done that. Check out FrankieCandlesTrading.com if you guys want to check out any of our merch, or if you want to get into the Discord. I've actually been saying this a lot lately, but this is true, guys. We will be raising the price of the premium, probably a good bit. We're going to be raising that up. If you are in the premium already, you will get grandfathered in at the original price. But It will be going up, probably a good bit. And then obviously all our links here if you guys want to sign up for Tony D. We got to get Blowfin on here. If you want to sign up for any of our exchange affiliates, etc., and then pull up, if you click on the merch here, you can check out all our colorways for those hats if you guys want to check them out. But shout out to the pink for the female CandleMafia. Let's go. Or the male CandleMafia. It doesn't matter. But with all that being said, guys, let's go ahead and pull these giveaway winners for 10 free bags of Cardano. Let me go ahead and pull that up. Let's pull up the giveaway winner picker. Bada boom, bada bing. Oh, there we go. 3 minutes is up. That was perfect timing. Let me grab that link. Copy. Paste. You guys are probably going to hear, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Oh, no, it was an ad. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob commented, Frankie is the GOAT. Gonna make our profits float to the top of the range. Swing, fail, pattern change. No way, dude. Hang on. Yo, it's longer. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. Frankie is the GOAT. Gonna make our profits float to the top of the range. Swing, fail, pattern change. 100K, here we come. Short squeeze on the run. Mafia, we have fun. In the chat, there we pun. Bull Div breaking out. Frankie does a shout out. Dave D cracking jokes. Tyler bans Steve Hoax. Golden makes it rain. Billy hashtag givers gain. Wanna win? It must. It's a must. Join our cord. Stick with us. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. That is a goated comment, bro. That is actually pretty fire. That's pretty fire. I like that. All right, let's go ahead and copy that link. Oh, man, the community we have here is the best. Comment picker. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. All right, let's pull it up here. Bada boom, bada bing. All right, here we go. Fetch the YouTube comments, exclude replies, and let's see. All right, we got 10 bags of ADA. Unless we get 550 likes, then we'll give away the 3 hats. We got 436 likes right now. Yo, shout out to Dave Digital. I love it. I love the how everyone has like their own little spot. It's amazing. Yo, shout out to Ken Bargoff said, "Hey, you D-gens out there." Shout out to you, brother. Rapper Rob. Absolutely. All right, let's see. Yeah, shout out to Rob. Rob is a lyrical genius. A lot of people don't know that, but now you know. All right, here we go. Winner number 1 for Cardano. Monitorier? Shout out to you. Said thank you, Frankie. Well, hopefully. Was that the market update or was that the... oh, yeah, this was the stop loss video. Highly recommend that. It's the only way to guarantee that you win your trade. The only caveat is the price got to go in your direction a little bit first, and then you can guarantee your winning trade. But shout out to Montnor. Shout out to you. Thank you for being here. Hit that free Discord. We're going to send you some free Cardano. Shout out to you. Here we go. Pick a winner. That was like, I thought that was like a Dave Digital alt account. Shout out to David. Says, bing bong. We're going to send you some free ADA for you, bro. Get in that free Discord. Click I recently won a giveaway. And then one of our amazing mods will drop you that Cardano. It actually works. It's not a scam. And you're winner number 2. And I'm going to keep tally here. I'm gonna keep tally here on this Starbucks bag that is not from a Starbucks breakfast sandwich that I get every single day. Definitely not the case. So let's go ahead and continue on. Next winner is gonna be Troy Ogden. Shout out to you, bro. Said keep it up, Frank. I appreciate you for being here, bro. I like the words of encouragement so much. We're gonna pay you for them. That's how we do. Shout out to you, bro. We're getting you some free Cardano. You are winner number 3. Hit that free Discord and talk to our wonderful mods. It's actually a better gift to talk to our mods than it is to even get the ADA. All right, here we go. Psychedelic Astronaut, let's go. You're winner number 4, bro. Let's get it. He said, I like profits. Well, hey, might as well lock him in. Watch that tutorial if you have not already and learn how to guarantee those wins. Shout out to Psychedelic Astronaut. I think you've won before. Congrats, bro. You've been here forever. And we're happy to have you, so you deserve it, bro. Shout out to you. I think you know how to get it. Let's get it. All right, here we go. Winner number 5. Precious Sun. Why am I struggling with these names today? Said, let's go, Frankie. Shout out to you, bro. Bing bong. Hit that free Discord. We're going to send you some free Cardano, bro. I appreciate you leaving a comment on the video. Hopefully you learned something, and hopefully you're making those guaranteed profits. Let's go. Winner number 6. Adrian, shout out to Adrian said, bing bong. Wow, a lot of bing bongs today. Let's go. Shout out to you, bro. Hit that free Discord. We're sending you some free Cardano. Tends to be the cheapest, not the cheapest, the easiest way. We used to do XRP, but then people needed to have like a certain amount of XRP as collateral in their wallet for us to send it to them. So Cardano just wound up being way easier. So hopefully you like Cardano. If not, swap it for your favorite meme coin. Shout out to you, bro. Enjoy that Cardano. Assad, shout out to Assad, said 70K. Let's go. I'm 70K. Hey, we're below 70K, so we can still call for 70K if that's what you're looking for, bro. Shout out to you. Well, hey, if you're upset about the Bitcoin dump, we'll just stuff your ADA bag a little bit, and hopefully that props up your profits. And shout out to Assad. Thank you for liking and commenting on the video. Next winner, Life Far Out. Let's go. Shout out to Life Far Out. Are you in here right now? Let me know. But you are winner. Number 8, let's go, said Solid Strat. G. I thought that said Jill. I was like, that's not my name. Shout out to Life Far Out. Let's go. Hopefully you liked the video, and hopefully you like Cardano. I appreciate you, brother. Hit that free Discord. I think you know how to get the giveaways. Let's go. Let me know if you're in the chat right now. And here we go for winner number 9. Who's it going to be? Chris Love. Let's go. I didn't read that comment. I was going to say let's go because, like, he won. But he said let's go. So ditto to you, bro. Hit that free Discord and get some free Cardano. I only have cash. I wish I had, like, coins to throw in the air. We got to get some coins. We got to get some Cardano coins, some Bitcoins, some ETHs, so we can throw them in the air and put holes all over the studio. But anyway, shout out to Chris Love. Thank you for watching the content. Go enjoy that free Cardano. Last winner, Crypto Flamingo, said Flamingo Heart. Bro, I thought that candle emoji was a middle finger. And I'm like, Crypto Flamingo? That would be so funny. Like, thanks for the info. Just like a friendly middle finger. Oh, my God. Shout out to Crypto Flamingo. Thank you for dropping those emojis, bro. And I'm glad it's not a middle finger. It's a candle emoji, as always. So shout out to you, bro. Hit that free Discord. You got the last giveaway of today. And we didn't get 550 likes, so we can't give away the hats. But, guys, we'll go for it next week. And with all that being said, speaking of candle emojis, drop them in the chat right now, guys. Pray for Bitcoin. You guys have all my full thoughts on Bitcoin in the long term and the short term. So, hopefully, on that next move, you guys have an idea. At least if we dump, you're not super scared, and you know exactly where we're probably going to go. Exactly where we're probably going to go. So you can then wait for those levels to get hit, analyze price action, and make sound investing and trading decisions to make money and not blow your account up over time. So with all that being said, guys, have a good weekend. Go touch some grass. You know I will. Probably not. But go have a good weekend, guys. Be safe out there. Pray for Bitcoin. And we'll see you on Monday. Same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong!
Coach, what's next for me, Joe? I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the f is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Space shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in mine, yeah.
And we're back, guys. Shout out to ZC. Said you ignored my super chat. I'm pretty sure we read your super chat, but we did not take a look at the SNEC chart. But I do want to take this time to remind you guys that super chats do not guarantee that we look at your altcoin. We do appreciate them, and I do try to look at them, but it's very hard to look at every single super chat at altcoin specifically because we get a ton of them. But shout out to ZC. We love you, bro. So we're going to come back in here for Frankie Fake Out, take a look at the SNEC chart. So here we are. And I'll be honest. As this thing deviates below this volume profile, you have momentum coming up. You have price coming down, at least on the 16-hour. Taking a look at the daily. Yeah, it is definitely going to be a similar situation to everything else, right? Take a look at the higher time frames. 2-day money flow still in the red here. 3-day money flow probably about to cross over. Already in the red. 4-day money flow coming out. I'll be honest. I mean, I don't want to say it looks good, but it doesn't look as bad as everything else, right? Just because money flow is kind of already in the red here, definitely could get more of a continuation down. However, short term, 8-hour bull div may be able to give you a little bit of a bounce here. Lower lows on your price action, higher lows on your momentum waves. Money flow like barely creeping to the upside. But if you get that green dot on the 8-hour, you may be able to kind of continue up. I would definitely be watching this value area low as a key level of resistance. I'm actually going to pull this. I didn't think I was going to change the level too much. But yeah, this value area low I would look at as key resistance, to be quite honest. But, I do think that 8-hour, this 8-hour could potentially give you a run back up into that value area low, potentially, right? Assuming not everything else dumps. But yeah, wouldn't be impossible for that. If that 8-hour green dot prints and confirms, check that 30-minute money flow. Yeah, you may be able to kind of creep back up here into this zone. But again, that value area low is going to be key resistance. And with the way money flow looks, and especially the rest of the market, right? Especially with SNEC, something like SNEC is very likely going to dump with Bitcoin. But if you do get back up in here, maybe you get to the 786. But yeah, I would definitely look for maybe a short-term push to the upside. But again, overall, I would lean probably a little bit more bearish in the long term just because of the way that everything else looks like and kind of SNEC looks like on the higher time frames. But short-term relief may be underway. Just be careful around that value area low. And with all that being said, guys, shout out to ZC. Hopefully that helps you out, bro. And with all that being said, shout out to Quicker said, Frank, you're such a kid. You're such a gentleman coming back in to do that. Of course, actually completely forgot about the SNEC. But we're never going to leave a Mafia member hanging. So shout out to you guys. Go have a good weekend. Touch some grass. Drink some water. Shout out to our boy Dark Crash. Mrs. Candles brought me this water on the premium live stream at 1:45, and I never drank any. So I'm going to go drink this water, guys. Have a great night, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. go. At the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on a roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on a roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll.